After an incredibly close map 1, we are now ready to bring you the second map of this series. We are going to go to Nuke, which is the map choice of OG. And Tom, do you believe that ForZe can bring it back, or will it be a OG 2-0?
I'm edging my way towards an OG 2-0 if I'm being brutally honest. This is a map where I think we have seen success from ForZe in the past, but even when you look at the interview that they had with Jerry, he pretty much said nothing went to plan the last time they played it, which I guess considering they lost 16-5, I could pretty much go behind that. The problem I have is even if you look at a lot of the victories that ForZe have, they're not against good teams. No. They're against like tier 2 at best, but even normally a little bit lower down in some of the tournaments they've been playing recently. So I don't have anything particularly convincing that makes me think they can win this, other than the fact that we've seen some decent stuff from them so far. Is there a smoke missing there? That seems like a pretty risky play to make, but it works for Valde.
Let's see here. FaceCrack has to get one, and he will get a double as well. FaceCrack holding down the fort. NBK, though, trading back one. 2v3 for the T side. LXCB far away, and he will be taken out. And surely there's no way that NBK can win this. LXCB eliminated. That's going to be the pistol round for ForZe, and they need it. Because as you say, they have wins, but it's against lesser teams. And if you look at OG, who are playing very nice teams, you have a winning streak of 4 games. Before that, of course, Tide lost to Complexity with 2 rounds. So OG are definitely happy about playing this new pick, which is also why they, funnily enough, picked it. They have victories over Spirit, Heroic, Godsend in just the last 3 games before losing to Complexity. But also victories over Mousesports in a show match, and ForZe before 16-11 if we go back to June. This, though, is another eco, as we know them. Love him or hate him, it's the part of the game.
Yeah, this is one of those rounds just to make a little bit of extra cash. Obviously, XC Power, you can see, was just saving on a P250. That always makes me a little bit uncomfortable. Like I remember Little, obviously someone who's now their coach, used to do that all the time, and I used to hate that with a passion, because especially with how common force buys are over on the T side, it just made me so uncomfortable that someone could have an even battle. Here we go though. This is a very fast play out from OG straight off the bat. Almeza trying his best to stick it out, but it's actually Jerry. They haven't cleared his position at all. He's managed to get so much done. Mantu, 9 HP, 2 to find the first, goes his way. And XP Power, he's missed a couple of shots. He's given him a chance.
So many weird things in this round. Also, the MP9 player towards CT event was not cleared at all, as you mentioned. And now, a rare sight, which is a missed shot from XP Power. Mantu, 9 HP. XP Power has just gone downstairs, which will be a very hard retake if the bomb goes up towards A. He'll have to either go all the way around or down to the vent, but it seems like Exapower has read the book. He's just pages ahead of what Mantu is doing.
Yeah, this is brilliant. Like, most of the time you see like slight reads where you're at least like playing for information. XC Power is almost just holding exactly where you expect him to be. The door opens, and Mantu would never have guessed that. He just walks out and goes, "Why are you there? Why are you there?"
Rent-free. 3-0 for ForZe. Very good start for them here on the CT side. It seems like, yeah, we have a little bit of a technical pause here. Surely be fixed very, very quickly. We want everything to be on point for the players, of course. If we do take a look at the money over at the OG side of things, Valde has bought head armor and a Tech 9 down to 1400. The loss bonus will be decent though, so that's why he's buying down. They can get a good buy-in here, OG, as the round resumes. With some Mac 10s, with some Tech 9 utility, with some Deagles. This is not a bad buy at all, but definitely not as good as the one on the CT side where it's a full one. All 4 rifles, 1 AWP, full utility. Let's see how it goes. Early Molotov to the door, which is always a must at this point in Nuke, because the T side can rush in so quickly, and a Molotov thrown towards Secret as well to block off eventual pushes, but extra power fully flashed. We'll get one, and Jerry also on the close range duel. Yeah, this round is
Keeping these
over.
anti-ecos so clean.
Very.
It's only XP power left. He wants a bomb plant. Good luck, my friend. That is not happening. 4-0. Dominant so far. Okay, sure, there was the one close round, but they've just made up for that with the amount of cash they make in this one. And now we need to start seeing OG get onto the board, because that's the problem. You start on this T side, sure, it's definitely not as much of a death trap as it used to be. But if you aren't able to quell the momentum that ForZe is clearly bringing here, it can very easily spiral out of control.
Smokes once more outside. Face crack ready for an inner push. Molotovs are pushed down, but no one's coming that way, and then the rotation will come through the vent. Molotov once more on top of Hot. Also pretty standard, but all of this utility has been thrown out by OG, but they haven't done anything. And yeah, maybe there's some chat going on. Damage has been taken, so this is an interesting choice what happens now, because it seems like OG, I would guess, have a problem. But they're continuing playing damage. Damage has been done. I think that's the way to go. And we continue off. LXCB though with a nice entry. Molotov forces extra power away, but he will get a frag in the meantime. Rotation down towards B.
He's in a good position, but it's expected. Issa clears, and the rest of the team are in a bit of an awkward position. Two players rotating through the vents, which, well, they haven't exactly done that quietly, and the third was already just around that spot anyway. Nice shot from FaZe Crack. In fact, he almost baits the bullets of Valde and gets the second kill. Issa holding the line, will get one. Leaves it into a 2-on-2, or maybe not. It seems like Mantu might be the one who's actually disappeared from the server. Issa still trying to do it all alone, though. This could be the clutch. He does everything! And Issa hits the final headshot. That was basically a 1 versus 3, as Mantu hasn't been playing that entire round, and Issa holds on. What a fantastic clutch from this man once again.
And of course, a technical pause now to get Mantu back on the server. What a play from Issa, and also an interesting round that will force ForZe into buying fully up. Will not have a lot of money left if they lose this upcoming round. So despite winning 4 in a row, it's only one buy, and then it's eco if they lose it.
I'm kind of surprised that he managed to take that. Like I'm almost left speechless. Like, from such an awkward position as well, to find every single one of those kills was just absolutely clinical.
Yeah, the headshots on the two first guys that he killed were absolutely on point. That was insane.
And I think the most terrifying thing is, like, I've managed to meet Issa a few times, and obviously we saw him in the roster previously with Woxic. There are some players, I would say, that, well, I think LXCB is probably one of them. Like, they're very much a calm within a storm. They're very, like, almost clinical. They don't show much emotion. They're very patient. They don't really have any of those sort of tendencies where if they have a bad start to a game, things can go wrong. Issa, on the other hand, is probably one of the most emotional players I think I've ever seen. Like, the guy gets incredibly hyped up. I think we saw some of Woxic's best Counter-Strike playing with this man, because I feel like I feel sorry for their chairs and their desks with how sort of like almost motivated and pumped up they can get. A play like that can turn Issa from, like, maybe a good player to a great player, like one that will just be unable to play against for the rest of the game. So considering how good he was in the first map of Mirage, you add in that clutch, I don't want to be against Issa on that server right now.
And also with the motivation of winning this game 2-0 and going straight to the semifinals, that also helps. So now the pressure's going to be on the Russian side. ForZe, what can they do here? Of course, we'll have a buy in this one, as I talked about before. So no worries getting all the utility and all the weapons that they wanted here, but actually they're missing a bit of utility as I'm saying that, but still a decent buy. The next round, though, if they don't win this, is going to be a full eco. And OG could build it even further, but FaZe Crack, once again, we talk about him. Sometimes his nonsensical, aggressive pushes. He makes it work again, foot through the smoke, and all of a sudden, it's the 3v5.
And they're really finding it difficult to deal with just the sheer level of aggression that's coming out from ForZe in a lot of these rounds. Even if you're playing a default, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're ready to have to face off against some of these angles. Issa, though, has managed to thread the needle. I wonder if FaceCrack's going to be watching. He is not, and the chance for 2. This is the man you want. It's Issa again, but XC Power, bit of a weird position for an AWP, but he's on the default of the site. Flit coming in for a flank and has the chance to end this round in its tracks. It should be expected at this point, though. They've taken a fair bit of time to get these players into position. Jerry almost needs to act as a bit of a distraction, and while Flit does turn it into the 1 versus 1, but he's back in the server, but not in the round, as Flit will eliminate man 2. He'll get the kit, the AWP, and the round.
That is actually insane that Flit comes in with such a perfect headshot in the final 1v1 of the round. It was very low HP and still managed to just click it away with the M4. His highlights are down. First one through the smoke, secondary, and here's the third. That's what can you do against that? That's insane.
Oh, and he didn't even have the bullets. He couldn't afford to miss.
So 5-1 for ForZe. Looking good here on the CT side.
Once again, this is what I mean when I talk about the setups that Jerry has. Like, it's different levels of aggression every single round. It's consistently being changed. This time, a 2-man push outside. It gives them a quick rotation back into mini. Jerry already picking up 1, and again, this is a slaughter. This A site is locked down. And Valde desperately trying to at least make things costly. The money for ForZe isn't anything too impressive. Obviously, winning this round, well, I'm not going to be banking on that.
Yeah, at this point, it's just like, how much damage can you do? Of course, would be great to get the weapon into the next round, but with 4 players still alive and so much time left, it seems like a very, very tough challenge. So let's just see how much damage Valde will be allowed to do here. We'll go for the first angle. Finding anyone. He's just searching, but can't see any CTs. And now, potentially, should be looking at going into CT spawn. Get that weapon with him. Jerry now will flank left, and yeah, he has 2 CTs who are going to face him. This is a big ask. But Valde is always ready to answer. This one will be too hard, though. Mid-air. It's going to be round number 6, Tom, for ForZe.
As said, this is one of those maps that, again, you don't necessarily see as dominant CT sides as you used to, but you can easily see them get out of control. And it's starting to get in that direction. Sure, there's still money for OG to play with, but I feel like ForZe are being able to get away with a little bit too much with how aggressive they've been, the pushes they've taken, the positional control they've been able to challenge for. And we haven't really seen too much variation so far from OG. Sure, they've gained space outside, and it's going to happen again. Nice shot from Mantu. This will allow them an after-plant position. What? Okay, Jerry. He tries to be sneaky. XP Power, though, has slightly more range, but Issa will catch him as well. He's going to be left onto just the 2 men in heaven. Well, an after-plant, maybe not wanting to give up those extra guns.
Yeah, if they save these 2 weapons, they're going to get a full buy next round. So I think that's a good choice, yeah. But what a weird round as well. Coming out from OG, 2 1-bullet Tech 9 kills.
Rolling back the years.
Yeah. Getting flashbacks to 2014, 2015.
Pretty sure people still have nightmares of Tech 9 Olov.
Yeah. And then C said Fnatic as well.
But yeah, that was the thing. Like there was so many like just weird things that Fnatic were able to do. Like you talk about like Flusher, where there was like a few month period where he basically just went, by the way, guys, the UMP is better than rifles. And I was just like, wait, what? Oh, come on. Now you're just winding us up. And then it was like, oh no, it's actually just stupid. And then obviously the SG came up as well. There's been so many different things that people have managed to basically prove are fantastic. I'm waiting for the day where we get the XM. That'll be the one where everybody's just running around with the XM. I think we should buff it. Maybe the Bison as well.
To be honest,
28 bullet Bison.
There was a time when Meg I think he did it once in a really huge game, but he did play around a lot with it in practice. Like he was using it so much, but LXCB doesn't care about any XMs. He just gets in the vent and gets the job done. Once more OG with some high paces. Made their way in towards the bomb site. Foot has to be taken out now, but he'll get a secondary chance. No idea that Valde is in his side. Extra power towards the ramp. Well, we'll go down. Nicely timed after the nade lands. So now extra power probably thinks that if there's a guy on site, he might be low from my nade, but that's not going to be the case. What case is this going to be? Is this going to be a 3v4 retake with only one kid and only one smoke? Or is this just going to be the save? I think the latter.
Yeah, I think once you're in an afterplant position on the B site with no map control, you don't really have a chance of ever coming back in one of these rounds, and sacrificing all of their extra weaponry for that just isn't worth it for ForZe, especially if they're still in a pretty good position. These last 2 rounds have been more of what we wanted to see. I like the faster play towards this B site. I think it's one that we haven't really seen thrown in much from OG so far, and one that has pretty much become a staple. The other thing as well is if you're just going to go barreling into that A site, a lot of the time you're going to give players like FaceCrack, even Jerry to an extent, the jewels that they want. Give them those opportunities to really do damage. Risk, we have a Nova in play.
Well, we were talking about weird weapons. So FaceCrack bought the weirdest of all. Extra power.
We haven't quite seen an R8 just yet, but I get what you mean. It's up there. I think they've realized the weakness.
Okay.
Oh,
let's
no.
go, Tom. Let's go.
Oh, is he going to get anything?
No, it's terrible. It's terrible, of course.
It had to be a headshot.
Yeah.
It's at least almost a giant decoy in that regard. And he does get an assist, I suppose.
The good old
good spot.
Rover. Exit power now, as you said. Just checking out. Goes lower. Allison might get the back of NBK, and he will. 2v2. Exit power on this lower bomb site, though. Will he find the opposition? Nice Molotov timing from Mantu in the vent. Will deny Almas the timing. So exit power has to land the frag if they want to go for it straight, but they're just going to wait. Play it out carefully.
It's a bit awkward for Mantu. He's given away his position. Both players actually around the ramp, which is a fairly awkward spot to be in. But they've managed to fall back into the corners, and this retake becomes a little bit tougher. There's not really much utility left. And well, I thought he was going to nail that shot. Instead, it's Almeza 1 versus 2. The first goes his way, but he's got to go and retrieve that kit, and actually picks up an AWP and just scoots on out of there. Saves it into the next round. Again, money's going to be an issue for ForZe, and more importantly now, OG is starting to climb.
And this is on the T side that they're getting rounds in now, and which is kind of fitting because OG is one of those teams who kind of defy the logic of this map, and they are fairly even. It's 50.5 to 49.5 share on TCT side for OG on this map, which is kind of weird because Nuke has always been a CT side map, where our good friends from ForZe are more to the norm, around 58% on the CT side. But yeah, let's wait and see. ForZe with the timeout. It's the first one used for them. A chance to talk with the coach and player we've mentioned before, Little, of course.
Yeah, I think Little someone there. Well, they've got a couple of coaches now. I think that's the interesting thing about their team. They've got LMBT in there as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of big brains when it comes to ForZe, so they need to be successful. And well, LXCB, I'm liking his change of pace. Over the last few rounds, he's taken some more risks, and he's found a lot more holes in this defense. That's the thing for ForZe. I think that if you give them the space to work with, if you play these slower defaults, it can bite you. This it's awkward. In fact, there's going to be trades back, though. The CT side quickly turned this into a 3 versus 3, as we finally seen a ramp push. And I'll be honest, Risk, we really haven't seen much play towards ramp at all.
No, and now the pressure is going to be on the player who's rotated down towards downstairs. Is it Jerry? Yeah, I think it is Jerry. He's usually the one on the rotation. And now Flit is coming towards the single door as well. What's the timing going to be like? Valde, are you going to peek out? And Valde will peek out and will win the duel as well. But they still have Flit to worry about. The nade does decent damage, and also through the smoke gets it down to 12 HP. But this is going to be so hard for Flit. Has to win a straight 1v1 duel to get this to work, and now he has to win a 1v3, and that's just not going to happen. I say that. Shot through the vent. Doesn't work.
He has been one of the top performers so far, but I think this might be a bridge too far. Again, it's the AWP save being retrieved.
Okay.
If he ever hits one of these shots, I think I might be done. Like, I'll blow out my vocal cords if he manages to hit a shot through the floor.
I would bring it back to 1.6. Back when the walls and Nuke was made of paper mache.
Well, what was it? It was Assault, wasn't it? That is my least favorite map in the entire game.
Oh, wait, you can just shoot through everything. Yeah.
You can shoot through everything, and you can kill people from spawn.
Yeah, Nuke is the same, though. Was the same in 1.6. There was a meta at one point where you would just put 2 or 3 Ts on the top of the roof and just spam through towards upper, or towards heaven in the beginning of the round.
Oh, we're back to this outside aggression once again. Jerry has had a relative amount of success, but it is worth mentioning at the beginning stages, we didn't really see OG challenge outside too much. They were going for a lot of heavy inner plays, and they weren't working too well. They've had a good comeback from a 6-1 scoreline all the way back to 6-5, and although their money isn't anything crazy, they're in a very good spot and starting to really control the match.
Yeah, Extra Power taking down to 55 because he overstayed his welcome in the Molotov, but Flit in the smoke. He's still standing. Extra Power dances around. NBK has to land the frag, and he will. And so will Issa. So
and worryingly, that's 2 of the weapons down as well.
Yeah.
Jerry at range is not going to be able to win this duel versus NBK. It's had a bit of a quiet game, but a big round as 3 kills come up, leaving Almeza pretty awkward position. Well, he's not in a bad position in terms of where he is on the map, more so because of the lack of friends beside him. NBK might just hand him the bomb. He's peeking first because he's low, but okay, never mind. The Frenchman rises to the occasion. 4 kills in 1 round, and I think OG are going to be very happy with that.
The natural born killer. The name finally fits as NBK. Taking down the 4 kills with him, and this will tie up the game 6-6. So looking very nice for OG now, despite the great start for ForZe.
Here we go again, though. They're back to what they were trying out originally, and it wasn't overly successful. But after a break from this scoreboard, after a break from these aggressive pushes, a little bit better this time, but even still, it's left in a 2 versus 2, and the 2 players standing on the ForZe side are the exact 2 I would choose every single time. The problem for Exi Power doesn't have any armor, doesn't have much utility,
no,
definitely doesn't have a kit. So he's going to have to try and almost shotgun up LXCB out of this position. They've got to do it quickly as well. Waiting patiently, the flash actually going to go over the top, and there is the kill onto Mantu, but do they expect LXTB to be this close? They don't. Even while checking the angle, he's going to retrieve that AWP. Look at the shots, and it's the no-scope as well. Lightning fast from the in-game leader. It is going to be 7-6, and what a clutch to win.
Wow, what a no-scope coming up from LXTB. I was almost about to say I'm a bit angry with him going aggressive, but with so little time on the bomb left and probable knowledge that they don't have a kit, I think it's fair enough that he does it. And he lands his shot, so extra style points for him. OG now, 7-6. Money's not looking good in ForZe, who are in big trouble right now.
Sneaky flip within this smoke. Had some success, but not this time. About some stat padding for him. This has been a phenomenal comeback from OG. As I said, a very slow start to this one.
Yes.
They are bringing this back, and although there's a few kills coming up for FaceCrack, it really doesn't matter too much. The half is won by OG on the T side, which, no matter what way you look at it, is pretty damn good for them.
Yeah.
But you take into account they've now won, I believe, 7 rounds in a row.
Yeah,
that's a little bit better.
It's not how you start a fight, it's how you finish it. And that's OG showing us that exactly right now. Exit power. It's still 9-8, not a bad game for him, but they have tried to hold him down outside, and now he's trying to do something of his own, and he's almost desperate now to get something done, and he will be shut down, leaving it to his 4 teammates in this last round of the first half. Could not get anything done aggressively. They were ready for him, OG.
Now that looked like an attempt, like almost just a desperation play from Exit Power, like just nothing working, so let's just try and be the hero. Instead, he's handed away that opening pick and made things very awkward. They're trying the same things again and again. I think that's the thing from OG. They've done very well to adapt, to change the way they played. As said, early in this game, we were looking at them rushing the upper bomb site almost every single round. Now they challenge outside because they're handed these frags from ForZe with very little response.
Yep. And this makes me, yeah, I'm kind of questionable for the second half here. If ForZe, if they already now are trying to make all these aggressive plays and feeling a bit desperate, like how are they going to handle the T side of Nuke, which historically is their weakest side on this map? Apart from, of course, FaceCrack is going to go through every single smoke he sees, but we know that already. Well, catch is a no.
He's looking for more. Lexi B is going to kill him off instead, just wanting to make sure that they get that victory through. A great comeback from OG as they take 8 rounds in a row, and they are getting ever closer to making them way to the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Yeah. 'Cause it feels good right now. Yeah. Gotta show me the money. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Never been around wealth. Now I'm surrounded. Nice cars at the mansion right next to the fountain. CEOs in business suits and private accountants. Yeah. Summertime parties by the pool. We lounging. Then by night we out stunting on the main strip. Out of state trips, cars with the paint drip. How could you hate this? Jewelry in my chain sit. That's the life I wanna live. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. Yeah. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Yeah. Come on. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Never have to worry if I have enough dough. Fashion show out in Paris in the front row. Party every night, I don't have time to sleep. Next day it's the same, just rinse and repeat. Summertime trips on a yacht to the island. Squad rolling with me and we do a lot of wildin'. A bottle of whatever you want, just put your order in. You can have as much as you want, there's plenty more of them. Yeah, show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. It's all about the lifestyle. It's all about the lifestyle. Show me the money.
a monumental comeback from OG in that first half. Can they continue the stride? Can they continue the dominance over ForZe? And can they lock this one out 2-0? OG 9-6 up now on the CT side. And Tom, are you hoping for OG as well, or are you on the Russian side of things?
I'd love a third map. I think that's the way I'm going. I do think at this
How
point,
very neutral of
OG
you.
OG should take this. I think the way that they played in that first half showed real resilience to come back. But more importantly, this is their map choice. And I feel like the T side of this map relies too heavily on FaceCrack, like making plays outside. Like he takes a lot of risks for this ForZe squad. And I think the OG have been very good at adapting thus far in the match.
All right, Elmas up. Grabbing the first one onto NPK. Flit in a good position with the P250, and it's now on OG to retake this. They have no kit, but Alexi P does have the CZ75. Okay.
Flit didn't even seem to flinch there. Mantu needs this draw if they have a chance in this round, and he is going to win it. And with a couple of players low, there is still potential here. Issa looking to land the shots, but not quite able to connect. And they're actually starting to get slowly surrounded in. Almeza caught reloading. There's the kill onto Flit, and now it's left onto FaceCrack. He needs to try and stop them getting towards that bomb, but he won't be able to. However, there is no time.
Yep. The missing kit once again becomes very important in today's games. OG still with the lead though, but now a little smaller. What buy are we going to see here from OG? It's going to be the Deagle Scout, surely. Valde is definitely agreeing with me. The rest of the team? Yeah, it's going to be the Deagle Scout. On the other side of things, ForZe are going for 3 rifles. The P250 that you talked about for the full AWP save. And then the MAC-10 on Jerry.
Yeah, this is where that P250 I feel like can just be a risk, because you're almost playing on a level playing field. Like I guess that's the case a lot of the time, but I guess if there's plays like this, it might not matter. If this is traded out though, that could be a free AK. Oh dear, Valde, what's gone wrong there? The Deagle can be a cruel mistress, and it seems like it has been in this case. Nice work from Issa and MBK to at least do a bit of damage, but you have to remember they invested a fair bit into this round, and well, all the guns were kept in the end for ForZe.
All right, getting closer and closer now. ForZe looking to run the gauntlet on this T side. As we expect a full eco to come out of OG, the game will be tied up 9-9. And Extra Power will be on the hunt for some eco frags and some money on that MAC-10. First one spotted will be Valdez, shot out by Jerry. Focus on the outside area where no teams have ventured just yet. Maybe not doing too much damage. Jerry will just have an easy time shutting down this gate area.
Yeah, it seems like the rest of the team are just patiently waiting for what Jerry's going to decide. Everybody else just watching in case there's further aggression elsewhere. As you said, no real challenge for outside, but I guess they're just happy to wait for their opponents to come to them. Still over a minute left on the clock, and no real panic just yet as they do look for Ram. Nice shot from Issa. Looking for a little bit more. They've actually hit the dink onto Flit as well, who has to try and retreat, and it's starting to become a little bit scary if you're a ForZe fan.
Okay, NBK in the back of them, grabbing 2. Potentially even a third one, and this is working out. This is an eco, Tom. How has this gone down? This is a full eco. There's not any armor on the CTs. It's just pistols. These are the kind of rounds. Yeah, these are the kind of rounds you look back on and say, okay, there's absolutely no way we should have lost that. These are the kind of rounds that between top teams in the world decide games. Like these are game winning and game losing rounds.
And the problem is this is going to be a huge injection of cash for OG. They've already managed to retrieve 3 AKs. Of course, I think there was a MAC-10, so I don't think they're going to be picking that one up. And Flit is in a spot where he has to save a Galil just to make sure that everybody's actually going to have a purchase into the next round, as he has to drop that over to Almeza or drop an AK in response. So they will have a buy, But the problem is, even that sort of denies the AWP for XP Power unless he goes glass cannon, which he does. And then on the other side of things, they almost have a bonus round after, well, basically losing the first 2 rounds.
Mantu on the orb, extra power on the orb. And a very important buy round coming out now for ForZe. They need to lock this down. They need to get some confidence back after losing that, and extra power start things off. Mantu wasn't even ready for the duel.
Maybe not expecting an AWP to even be in this round for ForZe. Alexi B might not be feeling too confident with his Mac 10. Of course, this is one of those maps where you definitely can get away with it. Like, this is one map where shotguns are even still relatively viable around the hut.
Yeah. The good old X10, as we talked about earlier. Mac 7 also works. Face crack towards Secret, but Valdes shuts him down. And is outside, has picked up the orb, taken down Flit. Now we just need to get Alexi B on a better weapon than a Mac 10, and we're good.
Well, there is an AWP down outside. He just left that on the floor. It's decided, okay, just one shot. You've had your share of me AWPing for today. I'm gonna go back, and well, it seems like he's just juggling between the 2 weapons. 40 seconds. This is what came back to bite ForZe in the last round. Was they were just a little bit too slow with their take. They give too much time to OG, and OG. That's the thing I have to really give credit for this team, is that if you give them space, they're very good at working out where you're going to be going. The Mac 10 is good for 1. The spam through from MBK does some extra damage.
Basically going to say.
And XP Power's gone.
Yeah. Nice round individually, I would say, from XP Power. Gets 2 flags, but there's no follow-up from the team. And OG will become 1 round richer now on 11-8 on the CT side of Nuke. It's very, very hard to imagine a way back now for ForZe, but anything can happen. That's the magic of Counter-Strike. We saw a team go down 0-16 the other day and still turn it around and win the game, so anything's possible.
Yeah, I think the worry for me is, as said, I think they're going to rely quite heavily on face crack. XP Power, although that was a decent round, hasn't had the best of games. And more importantly, Flit, who started incredibly strong, has now fallen off a bit as well. Like, I think he was 12-4 at a minimum in the first half. I don't think he's done anything really since, or at least very, very little. And considering we're now going on to the T side, I feel like it's tougher for XP Power, although he still does a great job. It's one of those spots where it's awkward, and in the next round, unless he manages to steal this one for his team, he's not even going to have that AWP.
Clever drop there for Mantu. He had the shot, decided, okay, I missed the first one. I'm going to make the sensible choice here. Smoke myself off, rotate down. And it's fine to have confidence, and you have to have confidence in an AWP duel, but re-peeking that one would have been stupid, and Mantu is definitely not that. So he played the right position and made the right choice. 2 T players down towards lower now, where Alexi B is residing.
I think the big question is, where do you even go at this point? Nice shot from face crack, but even that, he's going to need, what, 3 more of those to actually get the kill? I'm not so much a believer, and I almost wonder if XP Power is just going to save. I'll just keep that AWP into the next round. A bomb plant would be nice, but realistically, what, you got 25 seconds to try and make a play with some Glocks and a P250 and then an AWP on the B side. Like, I am not a believer in this at all. In fact, they're not either. They've tried to rotate back to A. It's a bit awkward for MBK, but he gets the job done. And that's all that matters. Bomb down, XP Power saving. Flit needs to die, and eventually he will. And now XP Power just has to stay alive. And then we're looking at a reasonable buy in the next round.
Yeah, and there's no reason that OG should have pushed out very aggressively to try and hunt for this. They're still building economy. Valde could have done it. Now, with this round 1 and potentially also 1 coming in now, they have secured themselves enough economy for the rest of the game, potentially. So this is looking good. 9.1 on NBK, 7.7 on Valde. Full buy from ForZe. If they don't win this, they're going to be on 3,400 and nothing. So potentially a Mac 10 pistol utility round. maybe a couple of hero AKs, but NBK is a hero himself. OG on the verge of shutting this one down, but let's see what the remaining 4 players of ForZe has to say.
FaceCrack's done a job. He's gained some space for Jerry, but caught looking the wrong way and leaves just 3 remaining. Again, back into this slower style of waiting for aggression. I'd almost wonder if ForZe have got too used to playing against other CIS squads. Like, okay, this is normally the point where they push hard. It's like, no, OG aren't going to do that. They're not going to give you these free kills. And so they're so patient with nothing really coming up for them, hoping that maybe XePower will find a pick. There's an opportunity here. Valde in an off angle, but Almeza still expects it. And that gives them an opener on towards this B side. The fact is, though, there's already been a rotation. Alexi B waiting with the doors open, almost using them as bait to try and make that a focal point for this T side as he rotates his way towards the window. And realistically, they need to try and close this if they're going to have a chance. XePower missing his shot. Aim punch is an issue here, and he's still going to manage to connect. So good with that AWP, but here comes the Molotov. Tries to deny them the plant. Bear in mind, there's 20 seconds left. Nice shot as well from Issa. The bomb is going to go down just in time. Nice shot from XePower. Flick converts. And ForZe get it done. Again, a bit of an awkward position, but they bring it back.
Very important. And also that it's not just 1 player surviving, it's actually 2 players surviving, so they can get 4 weapons out and maybe one MAC-10, 1 pistol. So they can get a decent buy going as well. They need to build economy, they need to build momentum. They're still behind with 3 rounds. OG still have money to spare in this one and won't be able to buy the next one if they lose, but if they stay 2 weapons, they will be able to get a full buy going as well. But let's not think too much ahead of ourselves. Let's wait and see what Jerry and the boys on the T side have planned for us.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate factor when you get around and still have worse money.
Yeah, CS economy is a fickle mistress.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not the one who has to make the changes, because I'm not quite sure I would do, but I think what the kids say is this isn't it.
You're damn right.
Fellow kids.
You're the youngest boomer I know.
For sure, but I definitely don't look it.
That's true. All the hair in the world. Oh, okay. All the frags in the world right now, but great answer back for Flip. Get shot from the vent. What is this? Will actually be
awkward. Oh, nice shot for XePower as well. And I was left on the bounty, and XePower's just destroyed them. 3 kills. Flit somehow survives on 1 HP.
This is going to be the
it looked like he was hit by 17 bullets.
This is going to be the eco, Tom. What a round from XePower. Let's have a look at this. It's going to be some pistols. Valde will be able to drop an orb onto Mantu in the next buy. They're taking a timeout now because they have so many remaining, and we are into round number 23 now. So it's a good timing to just take a breather and make sure everyone is on the same page. Valde has money, so he's going to potentially drop a few P250s. Everyone's going to buy some armor. It's going to be orb full by next round. But this one is going to be pistols, I feel like. Has to be pistols. For OG.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty big risk, especially because the last one was actually one of the cleaner rounds we've seen from ForZe, which isn't saying much, but it'd be a big risk. The problem is we've still seen OG manage to win rounds like this. Just catch them off with their slow play, not get overly aggressive, and almost just act as a surprise when they go pushing into the side. So if anything, I want to see ForZe play with a little bit, I almost want to say confidence, but I don't think it's quite that. Maybe with a bit of a backbone. Just basically going, okay, we're going to go take the site now, not leave it to the very last second. It's a very Na'Vi-esque style of play, and it has caught them a few times with stacks being there and OG able to get too much information for their own good. This time, though, it's looking like that same patient default, but with a little bit more presence onto outside.
Jerry with the opening and this eco for OG. Some small armors and B250s and Eagles, so still damage able to be done. There's no way they're gonna win another pistol, Tom. There's absolutely no way. They have 2 weapons now.
Guns.
No way.
It's not quite a
Thank
pistol
you,
anymore.
Thank you, Exit Power.
I'm not so sure. This has been having a damn good game. He's going to make the rotation all the way onto the B site. In fact,
oh wow,
bomb together. That's the bomb on the deck. And well, you might have to eat your words in a moment, Risk, because this is not looking good for the side of ForZe. A smoke to block their way, which will burn down the majority of the clock. I feel like Flit has to make the play here, and it's being waited for. It's a bit awkward for Issa, but he finds the shot nonetheless. It's all onto Face Crack. He's looking for the man up above, but he hasn't hit the shots. He doesn't even know where the second man is, and he can't do it. It is going to be another pistol round for OG. They just can't be stopped when those Deegs are in play.
What a round from Issa as well. Let's just see the frags now. We get the highlight reel. First one with the Deagle and the remaining 3 with the M4. And once again, yes, this is a great play by Issa, but it is also mistakes made from ForZe. This is the second round in this half they lose against Pistols. So that's definitely a focal point when they break this down and go over this in the review. Like, these are 2 rounds they should never lose.
But I would call these desk denters.
Yeah, because imagine, like, if those 2 rounds were on ForZe's account right now, they would be up 12-11. This would be a totally different game.
Yeah,
and it's not much to ask. Yeah, it's not much to ask to win a full buy against an Eco or 2 small armors and some pistols. Like, 9 out of 10 times, ForZe are going to win those rounds.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite look like that is the case today. Luckily for them, they've also been... Well, they've had XE power giving them opportunities in these sort of rounds as well. A lot of smokes being expended outside just to gain this control. I think the initial ones had some gaps in them, so they're just going to make sure they can all wrap.
Oh no! Oh no!
And this one is faded. That's almost a double for Man 2. He connects onto our Mazer as well.
Alexi is already here.
At least thrown into his teammates' hands.
Oh, one Valde. Oh, this is a perfect setup for OG.
Yeah, they've got the crossbow. I like the boost. I like the idea. It doesn't work. It gives Valde a... Oh.
Yeah, Valde was totally ready for it. He knew exactly what was coming his way. And now Alexi can make some noise, and Valde should get that frag. It's 4v2 Jerry in the vent. Will drop down, and Face Crack will need this frag. They need to shut down Valde now. They're challenging 1-on-1, and that's never the way to go. Valde will be able to grab another one, but NBK coming in with the refrag. Triple kill from Valde. OG on 14. ForZe. They're looking desperate, Tom. This is going to be an eco. They're going to have to play, and they're going to have to hope to run 5 rounds in a row. And it's not going to be this one.
On the T side, that is no easy task as well.
It's not impossible, but it is very improbable. $14-10. Like, we've seen some pistol rounds already, but this would probably be the best of the lot. Especially as it does look like OG are far more, I guess, calm in these sort of rounds. Playing fairly passive, not allowing these positions to be taken, and well, this is just clinical. Not giving them the time of day. It will eventually be 15-10, and this is it for ForZe. They've made their mistakes, but they've got to try and break back for them. Let's see it now. Let's see ForZe run this back. Let's see 5 rounds in a row. Let's see Face Crack do crazy stuff. Come on. Let's get this OT.
Risk being the voice of positivity, is he?
I tried.
It's been a bit bleak, gotta be honest. Here we go. Ever since they were 6-1 up, it has been a tough one.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to blast into A there as well. It looked like that was the attempt, but denied by early utility.
There's only 1 Molotov left and 2 flashbangs on the T side, so this is not a good setup. On the other side, 4 flashbangs, 2 Molotovs, nades and smokes on the CT side, and here's the spray from NBK. He gets one, but the rotation comes in. It's actually his teammate who's decided to sit on the side and not do anything. Alexi not showing his hand. Will grab one for free. Will he grab the other one? Yes. 1v1, and it's going to be Valde. 16-10. OG are going to grab the win, and they're going to grab it in style 2-0 over ForZe.
Yeah, it was one of those matches where I feel like it wasn't like ForZe didn't have their opportunities. Like I think if anything, it was their own mistakes that definitely gave OG the victory. Especially, like, you have to consider there were rounds where Mantu dropped out the server and they lost a 1v3. They lost a couple of pistol rounds. I have to say they've definitely got some work to do, even though they definitely still have that individual skill. And I don't think they're going to be particularly happy with that one. We'll have to see, of course, what the devs think, as they'll get to break that one down in just a moment.